ena yatha kamugraha Sita katha shravana deepita hrichayena Srishtam vilokya nripate dashakandharena Jagnedbhutaina vapusha shramatopakrishto Marichamashu vishikena yatha kamugraha Sita Katha. Topics about Sita Devi. Shravana, by hearing. Deepita, agitated. Hritchayena, lusty desires within the mind of Ravana. Srishtam, created. Vilokya, seeing that. Nripate, O King Parikshit. Dashakandharena, by Ravana, who had 10 heads. Jagne, the Lord killed. Adbhuta ena vapusha, by a deer made of gold. It's in 2 slides. By a deer made of gold. Ashramataha, from his residence. Apakrishtaha, distracted to a distance. Maricham, the demon Maricha, who assumed the form of a golden deer. Ashu, immediately. Vishikena, by a sharp arrow. Yatha, as. Kam, Daksha. Ugraha, Lord Shiva. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. O King Parikshit, when Ravana, who had 10 heads on his shoulders, heard about the beautiful and attractive features of Sita, his mind was agitated by lusty desires, and he went to kidnap her. To distract Lord Ramachandra from his ashram, Ravana sent Maricha in the form of a golden deer, and when Lord Ramachandra saw that wonderful deer, he left his residence and followed it, and finally killed it with a sharp arrow, just as Lord Shiva killed Daksha. Please repeat this translation after me. O King Parikshit, when Ravana, who had 10 heads on his shoulders, heard about the beautiful and attractive features of Sita, his mind was agitated by lusty desires, and he went to kidnap her. To distract Lord Ramachandra from his ashram, Ravana sent Maricha in the form of a golden deer. And when Lord Ramachandra saw that wonderful deer, he left his residence and followed it, and finally killed it with a sharp arrow, just as Lord Shiva killed Daksha. Shall read the next verse by myself, text 11. Raksho dhamena vrkavad vipine samaksham Vaideha rajaduhitari apayapitayam Bhratravane kripanavat priyaya viyuktaha Stri sanginam gatimiti prathayam shachara. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation: When Ramachandra entered the forest and Lakshmana was also absent, the worst of the Rakshasas, Ravana, kidnapped Sita Devi, the daughter of the king of Videha, just as a tiger seizes unprotected sheep when the shepherd is absent. Then Lord Ramachandra wandered in the forest with his brother Lakshmana, as if very much distressed due to separation from his wife. Thus he showed by his personal example the condition of a person attached to woman. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In this verse, the words Stri Sanginam Gatimiti indicate that the condition of a person attached to women was shown by the Lord himself. According to moral instructions, Grihe Narim Vivarjayet. When one goes on a tour, one should not bring his wife. Formerly, men used to travel without conveyances. But still, as far as possible, when one leaves home, one should not take his wife with him, especially if one is in such a condition as Lord Ramachandra when banished by the order of his father. Whether in the forest or at home, if one is attached to women, this attachment is always troublesome, as shown by the Supreme Personality of Godhead by his personal example. Of course, this is the material side of Stri Sangi, but the situation of Lord Ramachandra is spiritual, for he does not belong to the material world. Narayanaha paro avyaktat. Narayana is beyond the material creation. Because he is the creator of the material world, he is not subject to the conditions of the material world. The separation of Lord Ramachandra from Sita is spiritually understood as Vipralambha, which is an activity of the Hladini potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, belonging to the Shringar Rasa, the mellow of conjugal love in the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has all the dealings of love, displaying the symptoms called Satvika, Sanchari, Vilapa, Murcha and Unmada. Thus, when Lord Ramachandra was separated from Sita, all these spiritual symptoms were manifested. The Lord is neither impersonal nor impotent. Rather, he is Satchidananda Vigraha, the eternal form of knowledge and bliss. Thus, he has all the symptoms of spiritual bliss. Feeling separation from one's beloved is also an item of spiritual bliss. As explained by Srila Swarup Damodar Goswami, Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir Hladini Shaktihi. The dealings of love between Radha and Krishna are displayed as the pleasure potency of the Lord. The Lord is the original source of all pleasure, the reservoir of all pleasure. Lord Ramachandra therefore manifested the truth both spiritually and materially. Materially, those who are attached to women suffer. But spiritually, when there are feelings of separation between the Lord and his pleasure potency, the spiritual bliss of the Lord increases. This is further explained in Bhagavad Gita 9.11. Avajananti mam mudha manushim tanumashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. One who does not know the spiritual potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead thinks of the Lord as an ordinary human being. But the Lord's mind, intelligence and senses can never be affected by material conditions. This fact is further explained in the Skanda Purana as quoted by Madhvacharya. Nitya Purna Sukha Jnana Swarupo Asau Yato Vibhuhu Ato Asya Rama iti akhya tasya dukkham kuto anvapi tathapi lokas shikshartham adukho dukkha vartivat antarhitam loka drishtya Sitam asit smaran iva Jnapanartham punarnitya sambandhaha svatmana shriyaha ayodhyaya vinirgachan sarvalokasya cheshvaraha pratyaksham tu shriya sardham jagama anadir avyayaha Nakshatramasa ganitam trayodasha sahasrakam Brahmaloka samam chakres samastam kshitimandalam Ramo Ramo Rama iti sarvesham abhavat tada Sarva Ramamayo loko yada Ramastu apalayat. It was actually impossible for Ravana to take away Sita. The form of Sita taken by Ravana was an illusory representation of Mother Sita, Maya Sita. When Sita was tested in fire, this Maya Sita was burnt and the real Sita came out of the fire. A further understanding to be derived from this example is that a woman, however powerful she may be in the material world, must be given protection. For as soon as she is unprotected, she will be exploited by Rakshasas like Ravana. Here the words Vaideha Draja Duhitari indicate that before Mother Sita was married to Lord Ramachandra, she was protected by her father, Vaideha Raja. When she was married, she was protected by her husband. Therefore, the conclusion is that a woman should always be protected. According to the Vedic rule, there is no scope for a woman's being independent, asamaksham, for a woman cannot protect herself independently. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So here is the brief description of the pastimes of Lord Ramachandra by Shukadev Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj, when the reference was made to the appearance of Lord Rama as the son of Dasharatha in the dynasty of Vaivasvata Manu. So in one verse, Shukadev Goswami summarized the essential aspects of the pastimes of Lord Rama, which is described in detail by Valmiki Rishi in Ramayana, Valmiki Ramayana. So in the single verse that describes the summary of the pastimes in brief, Shukadev Goswami mentioned that the Lord was separated from Mother Sita. after mentioning this, a little more elaboration about how the Lord was separated from Sita when in the forest. So it is described here, when Ravana, who had 10 heads on his shoulders, Ravana is referred to as Dashakandharena. That is referring to Ravana, the Rakshasa, who had 10 heads. He heard about the beautiful and attractive features of Sita. Sita Katha Shravana. His mind was agitated by lusty desires. Deepita Hritchayena. Because he is demoniac by nature. The 16th chapter, Lord Krishna describes divine nature and demoniac nature. Divine nature is when you hear about somebody's beauty, then you appreciate that beauty by glorifying the Supreme Lord, who is the Creator. How wonderful is the creation. Or somebody may actually glorify the beautiful person as somebody who has performed pious activities in the past, and as a result of those pious activities is endowed with beauty. Due to past pious activities, any person in this world is endowed with 4 different things. Aishwarya, Shruta, Shri, and what else? Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, Shri. Shri means beauty. Janma means birth in a aristocratic, noble family. And Aishwarya means wealth. And Shruta means education. So these 4 are bestowed upon any soul taking birth, especially in the human form of life, because of past pious activities. So a divine natured person, when such a divine natured person hears about or sees somebody is endowed with beauty, bodily beauty, or is very, very well educated, or is having a lot of wealth, or is born in a very, very nice family, then they appreciate the pious activities performed by that soul in the previous life. When a demon hears or sees somebody beautiful, demon is always after material enjoyment. That is demoniac nature. Always thinking how I can enjoy materially. So when a demon sees a beautiful woman, he thinks how I can enjoy this beautiful woman. How I can enjoy beautiful. So Ravana, when he heard about the beauty of Sita Devi, immediately his mind became afflicted with lusty desires for enjoyment. And what did he do? He went to kidnap her because he heard she's in the forest. So he went to kidnap her. And to kidnap her, he made a plan how to kidnap her. He distracted Lord Ramachandra from his ashram when Rama was staying with Sita in the ashram, in the forest, he distracted Lord Ramachandra by sending another demon, Maricha, in the form of a golden deer. And when Lord Ramachandra saw the golden deer, he left his residence and followed it and finally killed it with a sharp arrow, just as Lord Shiva killed Daksha. So this reference to Lord Shiva killing Daksha is made by Shukadeva Goswami, because Shukadeva Goswami has earlier described Shiva killing Daksha in an earlier canto. When Daksha insulted his own daughter, Shiva's wife, Sati, and Sati became, not really because Daksha insulted Sati, but because Daksha was insulting Shiva. So Sati became very angry and decided to quit her body. So when Sati committed suicide, Shiva is very, very powerful. He came to know. Then he became angry against Daksha, who was responsible for Sati's suicide. And he sent one Virabhadra to kill Daksha. Virabhadra immediately chopped off Daksha's head. Similarly, Lord Ramachandra, with a sharp arrow, he just killed that demon Maricha, who was wandering in the forest trying to distract Ramachandra. Rama killed that deer. And while Ramachandra was absent, the next verse says, when Ramachandra entered the forest and Lakshmana was also absent, the worst of the Rakshasas, Ravana, kidnapped Sita Devi, the daughter of King Videha, just as a tiger seizes unprotected sheep when the shepherd is absent. So women, if they are not protected in the material world, when they are not protected, they are subject to exploitation by demoniac-natured persons. There is never danger from any divine-natured person. Only danger is from demoniac-natured persons. So therefore, Shastra says, in the material world, always there are persons who are demoniac nature. Dvau bhuta sargau lokesmin daiva asura evacha. The creation itself, material creation, is such that there are always two classes of created beings. The divine natured, daiva swabhava, and asura swabhava. The demoniac nature. So demoniac natured people are lusty for material enjoyment. When they see others' wealth, they want to somehow get that wealth for their enjoyment. When they see some beautiful woman, they want that beautiful woman to enjoy themselves. It's like that. Demonic nature is like that. They're always thinking of enjoying. So you can understand the modern civilization, which is enticing people in so many ways to enjoy materially, it is actually a demoniac civilization. People don't realize this. You see? They are bewildered by technology, but what is technology being used for? Technology can be used for good purposes, for divine purposes. Just like Prabhupada gave the example, Somebody has created this microphone. For whatever purpose, material purpose they might have created, we as devotees of Krishna, we use this microphone for broadcasting Krishna's glories. So this is the proper use of technology or anything material in this world. But demons, they always are thinking of material enjoyment, so they want to use everything for their material enjoyment. That's why you see so many advertisements enticing even divine natured people to enjoy materially in so many ways. This whole business of material enjoyment is demoniac. Why? Because material enjoyment means exploiting sense objects for one's own sense enjoyment. This is the meaning of material enjoyment. Exploiting. To give a very simple example, devotees relish prasadam, whereas the demoniac natured persons, they want to satisfy their tongue by eating. The activity appears similar to devotees taking prasadam, but then the mentality, for my tongue's satisfaction, I'll eat whatever I like to eat. There is no discrimination. There is no consideration. There are so many tasty vegetarian food stuff. But the demons, they will indulge in so much of animal killing that simply to satisfy their tongue, they don't care that some poor animal, innocent animal, is being killed. And it has to undergo so much suffering. This is demoniac nature. Simply to satisfy their tongue. That's all. After all, there are only 6 kinds of tastes that the tongue can relish or enjoy. And varieties of vegetarian food stuff is available, which gives you virtually unlimited varieties of the combination of these 6 tastes which are palatable for the tongue. Srila Prabhupada once said that with just milk and sugar, cow's milk and sugar, 2 ingredients, can make thousands of varieties of sweets, milk sweets. Especially if you go to North India or Bengal and Orissa. How many varieties of sweets they make with just milk and sugar. So many varieties. So, even though without any harm for the cow, one can take cow's milk, and from sugar cane you can get sugar. And with sugar and milk, you can prepare so many items. No, but they will want to enjoy so many other types of edibles. They are not edibles actually. They are called untouchables. What is the Sanskrit for that? Amedhya. In Sanskrit, Amedhya means untouchable. Actually, it means stool, which is untouchable. So meat comes in the category of stool, according to Ayurveda. Same category. So meat eaters, what are they eating? They are eating stool. That's why in the Shastra it says meat eaters are like hogs, pigs. You say pig has no discrimination between what is edible and what is not edible, because it eats rubbish which is discarded by everyone else. Similarly, the meat eaters, though there are so many nice vegetarian edibles, patram pushpam phalam toyam, patram pushpam phalam. In this category, there are so many edibles. But they will not eat that. Or even if they eat that, they want to eat something more, because they are having lusty desires for enjoyment. Lusty desire means very strong, unlimited desire which can never be satisfied. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is described, lust burns like fire in the heart of these demoniac natured persons. And a fire can never be extinguished if you keep supplying fuel to it. Fire can never be extinguished by supplying fuel to it. So this demoniac natured persons attempt to satisfy their lusty desires by supplying sense objects is like adding fuel to fire to extinguish the fire. It will never be extinguished. Similarly, their desires will never be satisfied. Lust can never be satisfied. Greed can never be satisfied. Just like these greedy people who are greedy for money. A person is having 10,000 crores. Is 10,000 crores enough for one person? No, for greedy persons it's not enough. They have to think of ways of investing and making it more. Why? It's only greed. It's only greed. Actually, the whole concept of share or stocks in a company is completely spoiled because of this greed of people to make money. What is the idea behind this stocks and shares? Original idea. That supposing I am an entrepreneur, I don't have sufficient money to convert my idea into a business, a manufacturing business or whatever. So I borrow money from somebody who is having money, and there is not one person who's an investor. Even common people, they can give little, and many common people give little. Then I take that money and I actually use that money to do my industrial enterprise, and I get very good profit. I share that with all the people who have invested. It's a noble idea, because his idea is responsible, is the basis for making a nice product and making good profit. But because he was not able to invest himself, so he is taking from others and sharing. So what was the way earlier this concept of sharing was there? From the profits, there was something called a dividend which was declared. Dividend which was declared. So the dividend is sharing the profit by the entrepreneur or the company which has made very nice profits and wants to share with the shareholders. And the shareholders can keep getting this profit because the company keeps producing and making profit year after year. So every year they declare dividend. But now with this so-called share market investment, it has become totally distorted. It has become abused. This whole concept of share market is abused. I was recently hearing from one of our devotees how the share market works. I am out of touch with this whole share market thing. I know something is going on. People are speculating and actually buying and selling shares by speculating. What is the concept of buying and selling shares earlier? That an industry or entrepreneur is going to invest in some business, make profits, and you share the profit as an investor. You may be a small investor, you may be a big investor, but you share the profit because you don't have the ability to do the business. So somebody else has got the ability, but you have the money. So your money can actually get you can get some share in the profit, which is a healthy way. It's a healthy way of making money, of getting some profit. But that healthy way is gone now. Healthy way is gone. Nobody is interested, I shouldn't say nobody. Most people are not interested in the dividend that is declared by investing in shares. Most people are not interested in the dividend. They are interested in speculating that the price will go up, and that too, how soon? It could be even one day, or it could even be few hours. And nowadays I am hearing it could even be few minutes. So constantly looking at the share price, I'll buy this, I'll sell this, I'll buy this, I'll sell this, I'll buy this, I'll sell this. This is how the mind becomes completely absorbed in money, 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 money. This is exactly demoniac nature. This is exactly demoniac nature. Always absorbed in thought of money. And consequently, keep looking at the mobile or the TV, what is happening to the price of particular share I have invested, whether it is going up, coming down, what is the trend. Constantly keep looking at that. And if it comes down, I'm losing. So much anxiety. And if it's going up, excited. Oh, it's going up, it's going up, it's going up, it's going up. I'm going to make so much money, so much money. What is this nonsense? All the time looking at the mobile, all the time looking at this TV screen. So, in scriptures it is said, this kind of speculation is a sinful activity. Many people don't know this. Because education is very poor. Spiritual education is very poor in Kali Yuga. Many people don't know that speculating and earning money is sinful. So the money that is earned by speculation is tainted with sinful reaction. It is no different than stealing, cheating, plundering. It's no different than that. People who earn money in this way are going to suffer Very, very severe sinful reactions. And don't think the suffering is only in the next life. There is no such statement in the Shastra that you will suffer only in the next life for the sins committed in this life. No. The reaction could be the very next moment. Very next moment. There have been news, you would have heard also, that somebody had invested a huge amount of money in some share and got the news that that share price crashed due to a stock market crash or whatever. And this person had a heart attack and he died hearing about that stock market crash or share price crash. So isn't it the immediate effect of this business of speculating and becoming affected by share price variation? So it's a fact that this speculation is sinful. At least as devotees, all of you be warned that don't try to earn money by investing in shares by speculation. If at all you want to invest, you invest so that the business will utilize your money for doing a proper business, making a profit, and sharing the profits with you as a shareholder. That is not sinful. That is not sinful. But if somebody invests money so that by speculation the price is going to go up and then they make some money, then that is actually sinful. That money is sinfully earned. Formerly, people used to do business also, not only now, but they would always do honest business. They always used to do honest business. And while doing business, there might have been some unknown sins committed, just like cheating in business. A pious businessman will never cheat his customers, but sometimes a businessman may tell a simple lie. Just like Prabhupada gives the example, when a customer comes, the businessman will tell the customer, for you I am going to give you at a price which is my cost price. Without profit, I'll give you this particular article because you are my regular customer or because you are known to me, whatever. So it's a simple lie. He's just telling to entice the customer to buy. But the customer should understand, how can a businessman do business without a profit? The whole idea of doing business is to make a profit. So it's taken as a simple lie, and okay, it's not a serious case of cheating. But the businessman, if he is pious at all, if he has told such lies just to entice somebody to buy, later on he'll regret it. I have told a lie and the person purchased thinking that I was giving at cost price. So then, to absolve themselves of the reaction, sinful reaction of having told a simple lie even, they give in charity to a Brahmana or to a Vaishnava or to Krishna. So that's why Vaishyas are recommended to give charity. And charity to whom? Not feed the poor. That is not charity. Feeding the poor is not charity. Or helping some poor person because they don't even have money for their basic needs. That is not charity. That is not dana. So does it mean that nobody should give or help the poor if you have some excess wealth? Should not help the poor? No, that's not the idea. The idea is that such help is called daya, mercy, kindness. Kindness is separate. Dana is separate. By kindness, showing kindness, you cannot become free from a sinful reaction. By dana, you can become free from sinful reaction. You see the difference? If a businessman thinks, I might have earned money, not exactly honestly, so let me give charity and become free from the sinful reaction. So then that charity has to be given to a pure Brahmana or a Vaishnava or the Supreme Lord, Krishna. Only three categories of personalities you can give dana. A pure Brahmana, a Vaishnava or Krishna. That's all. If somebody thinks that I'll feed the poor or help some poor person and thereby that becomes charity, it's not charity. It is daya, it's not dana. Prabhupada clarifies this. So there's difference between dana and daya. So coming back to the point that I was making, a demoniac natured person is always greedy for wealth, always having lusty desires for enjoyment, and will not hesitate to break the rules for making money or for enjoying. So therefore, this demoniac nature is very, very dangerous. Anything which entices us to develop the demoniac nature, associating with demoniac natured people makes us also polluted with desires for demoniac way of enjoyment, demoniac way of making money. Just like this this whole investment in shares by speculation and making money. Many people do not know about it. They come to know when they associate with others who are doing like that. They associate with others, they associate and they learn. So your association also has to be careful. If you are a devotee, you have to associate with devotees or divine natured persons. Which means don't associate with, if you are not speculating and earning money, don't associate with other people who are speculating and earning money. Don't associate. It's very dangerous. Every possibility you will also become polluted by the same kind of desire to make money. So, association is the basis. It is said in the scriptures that there was one Jarasandha, one demon. By birth, he had good qualities, but by simply associating with demoniac natured persons, he also became demoniac natured person. Became a very big demon. He attacked Mathura 17 times, each time coming with one Akshauhini division of army. You see? So, very, very powerful demon. He became demoniac only because of wrong association. That's all. So be very careful. Shastra says, be very careful with whom you associate. You are all divine natured. And you have desire to actually increase that divine nature, become more and more devoted. But your wrong association can mislead you. Be careful. Especially when you do not know some things are sinful. Just like many of you, I think today, are hearing that speculating and earning money in the share market is sinful. Many of you, I think, are hearing for the first time. I also didn't know this before I heard it from a devotee. I didn't know that. So, like this, in Sadhu Sangha, become spiritually enlightened by hearing. Bhagavatam is meant for spiritually enlightening you. So read Bhagavatam, hear Bhagavatam, discuss Bhagavatam as much as possible. You can enlighten yourself and you can also enlighten others, benefit others. Many people commit sinful activities without knowing it is sinful activity, especially in Kali Yuga. Because in general, ignorance is widespread. Spiritual ignorance is widespread. People do not know. So please associate with divine natured people. Please read books like Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, written by devotees, acharyas, not written by some non-devotee. No. You should specifically read that which is written by devotees. And then discuss this subject matter as it is explained by Prabhupada. And then you become enlightened. Then you know what is sinful. Then you avoid sinful activities. Then your life is very, very clean. You don't have to unnecessarily suffer so much of anxieties which these demoniac natured people suffer. See, for example, just sitting in front of the TV or mobile phone and looking at the prices going up and down, so much of anxiety, unnecessary anxiety. There's no need for this anxiety. Material world, anyway, there is anxiety even if you don't want it. Why do you want to foolishly increase your anxiety? This much common sense people do not have. They're full of anxiety, full of stress. Just to get more money, they work 18 hours a day. I don't think they work 18 hours, maybe 14 hours or 16 hours. And then they are dead tired. They come home, they have no time for their family, they have no time for even eating properly. They spoil their health. So what is the result of all that extra money, extra work you're doing? Spoiling your health, increasing your anxiety, neglecting your family members. Is that a good result, a good consequence of your earning money? What is the use of that money? People don't have common sense to even think of this. That is the kind of bad association that is there in Kali Yuga. Dussanga. Bhagavatam, many places it is said, give up this dussanga. Give up association of people who are greedy for money. Give up association of people who work like donkeys simply for earning money without caring for any other values. We don't say don't work hard. Bhagavatam doesn't say be lazy. No. You have to work hard. But work hard in an intelligent way. Work hard for the right cause, right purpose. Work hard for spiritual advancement. That is called tapasya. Tapo divyam. Divya tapa. Austerity for the sake of spiritual advancement. Not for the sake of earning money and becoming lusty and greedy for more money, more enjoyment. No. Not that kind of work. So I'll stop here. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.